Let's be honest. Every business idea feels like a masterpiece in the beginning. It's like our PowerPoint slides. We love our own too much. We become so emotionally attached that we stop seeing their flaws. That's why every dreamer needs a reality check. Not to kill the idea, but to make sure it can walk, talk, and thrive outside your imagination. Once you have a business idea that excites you, the next smart move isn't to rush into execution. It's to test it with a checklist that asks, can this actually work? Now, here's a secret from seasoned entrepreneurs. The easiest and most authentic way to build something great is to make something you yourself would use. When you're solving a problem you genuinely understand, you don't need focus groups to tell you what works, as you just know. Take James Dyson, for instance, the man who turned vacuuming into an engineering revolution. He wasn't sitting in a corporate lab trying to disrupt the home cleaning space. He was just frustrated because his vacuum cleaner kept losing suction. Dust would clog the bag, airflow would die, and the whole system would choke. So he did what great entrepreneurs do. He scratched his own itch. After 5,000 prototypes, Dyson invented the world's first bagless cyclonic vacuum cleaner, solving a problem that millions didn't even realize they had. But let's be real, most entrepreneurs don't stumble upon billion-dollar frustrations while vacuuming their floors. That's why feedback is your next best friend. The American writer and polymath Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr. once said, "Many ideas grow better when transplanted into another mind than in the one where they sprang up." And he was right. Sometimes your idea needs fresh air, another perspective, another brain to grow stronger. So before you go all in, share it, talk about it, collaborate on it. If you find the right partner, they can complement your blind spots. But if you're going solo, don't worry. You've still got a powerful ally, a good idea checklist. Because here's the golden rule. Good ideas aren't born perfect. They become great when tested. Entrepreneurs around the world use these types of checklist to measure whether their concept has real-world traction. The best ones usually tick most of these boxes. So let's dive in. Here are 7 must-have criteria to evaluate your idea before you take the leap from dreamer to founder. 1. Fills a gap in the market. Every successful business begins by spotting a gap, that invisible space between what people need and what they currently get. It's simply an unmet need, something customers crave but can't find, or something that exists but fails to satisfy. Sometimes this gap exists because nobody's created the right product yet. Sometimes it's because existing businesses are stuck in good enough mode. And other times it's because customers haven't realized what they're missing until someone shows them. Let's take an example. Picture a small town that has 10 restaurants, all serving the same predictable food. Then someone opens a Mexican place. Suddenly everyone's talking about tacos and guacamole, and what was once a niche cuisine becomes a Friday night craze. That's what filling a gap looks like. Or imagine the same town with a fancy French restaurant that's allergic to families. The food's great, but the vibe screams no kids allowed. A smart entrepreneur sees this and thinks, what if I make fine dining kid-friendly? Boom, another gap filled. And then there are the game changers. People who fill unseen gaps. Think of food delivery apps. Before they existed, no one was protesting in the streets yelling, "We need biryani at midnight." But once companies like Swiggy, Zomato, and DoorDash arrived, we all wondered how we ever lived without them. That's the beauty of market gaps. Sometimes they're obvious, and sometimes they need to be revealed. To find one, start by doing a bit of detective work. Research your market. Talk to customers. Look at your own frustrations, because chances are, if something annoys you, it annoys others too. Study trends and competitor offerings closely. Are they missing something their customers quietly wish for? Could you make it better, faster, cheaper, or more enjoyable. Sometimes the gap lies in an untapped group of customers or an overlooked corner of an industry that's ready for reinvention. For instance, Dollar Shave Club noticed men were overpaying for razors. The lesson? Great entrepreneurs don't just look at what exists. They look for what's missing. By studying customer trends, frustrations, and market blind spots, you can spot those cracks of opportunity where innovation seeps in. The trick is to see the invisible and then make it obvious to everyone else. 2. Innovative or better alternatives. In today's competitive landscape, if your business doesn't improve the customer's experience, it's not innovative. It's redundant. Here's where most dreamers fall into a dangerous trap. They decide on the solution first and then go hunting for a problem to justify it. That's what's called as an innovator's bias. It's the classic hammer syndrome. Once you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. The result? You end up building something cool but unnecessary. A techie gadget no one asked for or an app that solves a problem nobody has. Here's the truth. Innovation isn't about being clever. It's about being useful. Think of Uber. It didn't invent transportation. People were already taking taxis, but it made the process faster, cleaner, and hassle-free. No more yelling into the void for cabs or carrying exact change. Uber didn't create a new service. It fixed a lousy experience. Or consider Netflix. It didn't invent movie rentals. It reimagined how we watch them. It turned the painful late fees of Blockbuster and improved what already exists by eliminating what everyone hates. As Harvard professor Theodore Levitt famously said, people don't want to buy a quarter-inch drill. They want a quarter-inch hole. In other words, focus on the outcome, not the object. Here's a simple litmus test. If your idea doesn't make life cheaper, faster, easier, or more enjoyable, it's probably not innovative enough. So instead of asking, what problem could my idea solve, ask, what real problem do people already face, and how can I solve it better? Innovation is a relay race, not a solo sprint. Every great solution creates new problems waiting to be solved. Cars created traffic, smartphones created distraction, social media created burnout. But each of these spawned fresh opportunities for innovation, from ride-sharing apps to digital detox movements. That's the beauty of entrepreneurship. The moment you fix one pain point, another one raises its hand. When you're brainstorming your idea, remember this. Your job isn't to build something no one has ever seen. It's to make what everyone already uses feel brand new. And the magic question to ask yourself is this: is my idea a better alternative to what's already available in the marketplace? If your honest answer is yes, if your idea improves the user experience, reduces friction, and adds value, congratulations. You're not just an entrepreneur, you're an innovator, because innovation doesn't always roar. Sometimes it quietly upgrades what the world takes for granted. 3. Is it unique and will it stand out? Let's be honest, in today's marketplace, different is the new better. We live in a world overflowing with options. From coffee beans to crypto apps, every category is crammed with lookalike brands promising the same benefits in the same tone of voice with the same overused stock photos. So the question is, why should anyone choose you? In a crowded bazaar of Me Too products, your business must not just compete, it must stand out. You need a story, a promise, and a personality that scream, "We're not like the others." That's where your USP, unique selling proposition, comes in. It's what answers your customer's silent question. Why should I buy from you instead of someone else? But here's the twist. Being unique isn't only about having a patent or a new technology. It's about having a point of view, a belief, a way of doing things that no one else can replicate because it's rooted in your DNA. Your USP tells the world not only what you do, but why you matter. Now, here's where most entrepreneurs trip up. They confuse difference with novelty. They think being loud or quirky automatically means standing out. But real uniqueness isn't about gimmicks. It's about clarity. It's about doing something better, truer, and bolder than anyone else in your space. Let's imagine you're opening a coffee shop. There are 100 others around. So what makes yours worth noticing? Maybe you roast your own beans. Maybe you champion sustainability and fair trade. Maybe your cafe doubles as a creative co-working hub for artists. Whatever it is, your uniqueness should show up in your value proposition, that clear promise of what customers can expect when they walk through your door. But remember, being unique isn't a set it and forget it deal. Markets evolve, customer needs shift, rivals copy. Even your best ideas can lose their edge if you stop listening. So review your USP regularly. Ask, is it still relevant? Do customers still care? Are my competitors catching up? Because your USP is only unique if your customers still believe it. And if you really want to play at the highest level, understand this. Your uniqueness goes far beyond your product. It's your culture, your customer experience, and your attitude. It's how you treat people, how you communicate, and how you make your customers feel. That can't be reverse engineered. Great businesses don't just have products. They have a point of view. They take a stand. They're willing to say, this is who we are. This is what we believe in. And this is what we'll never compromise on. That stand, that bold declaration of identity, is what builds superfans. Nike's not just selling sneakers, it's selling self-belief. Tesla isn't just selling cars, it's selling the future. Your brand too must sell a worldview, not just a product. So don't aim to be everyone's cup of tea. Be someone's double espresso. Strong, distinct, and impossible to forget. Because in business, blending in is invisible, standing out is inevitable. 4. Meets or exceeds customer expectations. Here's a universal business truth. If you're not blowing your customers' minds, someone else will. In a world where attention spans are short and choice is endless, customers expect more than products. They expect experiences. And not just pleasant ones, remarkable ones. Your business idea has to promise a level of value that feels impossible to ignore. It's not about being a little better. It's about being so good that your customers can't stop talking about it. Ask yourself, are you setting a new benchmark in an industry full of copycats? Are you giving customers something so valuable that they feel like they're underpaying? Does your idea make their life better, faster, simpler, or more meaningful? If your answer isn't an enthusiastic yes, it's time to go back to the drawing board. Because meeting expectations is survival. Exceeding them is how you win loyalty. So, what's the secret? Be of immense value. Your product or service should have referral value, meaning customers love it so much they tell others about it. It should have recurring value, meaning they keep coming back, not because they have to, but because they want to. The more value you give, the less you have to sell. Customers who feel genuinely served become your loudest advocates. They rally behind your brand not just for what you offer, but for what you stand for. Here's where it gets interesting. Customers don't only evaluate what they buy, they evaluate why they buy. Today's buyers are conscious buyers. They care about causes, ethics, and emotional resonance. They're drawn to businesses that align with their beliefs, whether it's sustainability, empowerment, or innovation. So when you're evaluating your business idea, don't just ask, will people buy this? Ask, will people believe in this? Because people don't form emotional connections with price tags. They connect with stories, values, and impact. So as you test your business idea, ask yourself, does it deliver genuine value? Does it create joy or relief in someone's life? Does it make people feel proud to associate with it? If you can tick all those boxes, you've got more than a business idea. You've got a brand that matters, because the ultimate goal isn't just to meet customer expectations, but to exceed them. 5. Harnesses your strengths. Your business idea should amplify your strengths, your skills, experience, insights, and network, not stretch you into painful shapes. A business built around your strengths has gravity. It pulls success toward it naturally. Think of your strengths as the unfair advantages you already possess. They're the hidden cards you hold that your competitors don't. And trust me, every great business has a few. For instance, location matters in retail, skill matters in craft, connections matter in B2B, and insight, that's pure gold in innovation. The secret is to build your business where your personal edge becomes your company's edge. There's even a term for it in the startup world, the unfair advantage. It's that thing you have that can't be easily copied, bought, or stolen. It's your secret weapon. As startup mentor Jason Cohen puts it, a real unfair advantage is something that cannot be easily copied or bought. You could lose your funding, your office, even your co-founder. But if your advantage remains intact, your business still has a pulse. To decode your own unfair advantages, look at the Miles framework. 5 categories that every entrepreneur can draw power from. M, money, the capital you have or can easily raise. I, intelligence and insight. The rare mix of book smarts, creative instincts, and emotional awareness. L, location and luck. Being in the right place at the right time and recognizing it when it happens. E, education and expertise, the combination of formal learning and hands-on mastery that makes you credible. S, status, your reputation, relationships, and personal brand, how the world perceives and trusts you. Now let's make this real. Take Google. It wasn't the first search engine. In fact, there were dozens before it. Lycos, AltaVista, Ask Jeeves, Yahoo, you name it. So what made Google unstoppable? Insight. Larry Page and Sergey Brin cracked the code by realizing that the number of websites linking to a page could determine its trustworthiness. That single insight, born from intelligence and expertise, became PageRank, and the rest is history. Or think about Facebook. It wasn't the first social network either. MySpace, Orkut, Friendster, and High5 were already crowding the field. But Zuckerberg had something else: location and luck. He launched at Harvard, one of the most exclusive environments in the world. That exclusivity made users want to be on the platform. Facebook didn't just start a network. It started a social movement built on status. Those are unfair advantages at play. Not mere luck, but leverage. Now, you may not be launching the next Google or Facebook yet, but your strengths are your own version of Miles. Maybe you have deep industry knowledge, a killer network, creative vision, or years of hands-on experience that others lack. Those are your weapons. And sometimes your strength isn't even a skill. It's your story. Your unique journey, your credibility, your scars and lessons, all of that can become brand gold if used wisely. The startup world loves to say that success goes to those who hustle hardest, but in reality, success goes to those who play to their strengths and delegate their weaknesses. Because business isn't a test of endurance, it's a game of alignment. Look at your idea and ask, does it leverage what I already know and do well? Does it give me an advantage others can't easily replicate? Does it align with my expertise, network, and credibility? If your answer is yes, you're not just starting a business, you're building momentum. Because when you operate from your zone of strength, everything flows easier. Decisions are sharper, growth is faster, and motivation becomes self-sustaining. When your business harnesses your strengths, it becomes more than just an idea. It becomes an extension of your best self. And that right there is your real unfair advantage. 6. Is it in a growing market? Let's get one thing straight. Even a brilliant idea can wither if it's planted in the wrong soil. You can have the best product, the sharpest brand, the most dazzling marketing. But if the market you're in is shrinking, you're basically setting up a gourmet restaurant in the middle of a ghost town. That's why before you pour your soul and savings into your idea, you must ask the brutally honest question, is my market growing or dying? Every successful business thrives because it rides a rising wave of change. Think about it. Netflix didn't just make movies accessible. It caught the tide of on-demand digital streaming. Tesla didn't just sell cars, it surfed the wave of sustainability and electric innovation. Even Zoom wasn't just another video app, it became oxygen for a planet stuck indoors during the pandemic. A growing market multiplies your odds of success. It's like running with the wind at your back. Every effort takes you further. But if you're in a declining market, even your best effort feels like running on sand. Now, here's the mistake many entrepreneurs make. They chase trends, not transitions. Trends are flashy. They come with hype, hashtags, and a ticking clock. They're the fads that fade. NFTs, fidget spinners, keto ice cream. You can make a quick buck there, sure, but it's like catching fireflies. Beautiful for a second, then gone. Transitions, however, are deep shifts in human behavior. They don't just sparkle, they reshape the landscape. Think of how people now shop online instead of offline, learn from YouTube and online courses instead of classrooms, value sustainability and authenticity more than mass consumption. Those aren't passing trends. They're permanent rewires in how the world works, and that's where your business idea needs to live, in the new normal that's forming right before our eyes. So as you evaluate your idea, ask, is the industry expanding or contracting? Are customer needs evolving in this space? Is technology enabling new ways to serve these needs? And here's a quick sanity check. When analyzing a market, don't just look at the numbers. Listen to the noise. What are people talking about online? What are investors funding? What's trending in tech conferences and startup accelerators? These are the early tremors of tomorrow's giants. Markets are living organisms. They evolve, adapt, and sometimes disappear. The goal is to build your business in one that's breathing, expanding, and hungry for what you have to offer. So here is the catch. Don't be fashionably late with a copycat idea. Don't be absurdly early when the world's still puzzled about what's next. The magic happens when you're perfectly poised. Right place, right time, real value. 7. Can it be scaled up? Here's a brutal truth about entrepreneurship. Some businesses don't fail because they're bad. They fail because they're built small and stay small. They depend so heavily on the founder that the entire operation collapses the moment that person steps away. So let's ask the golden question. Can your business grow beyond you? Scalability isn't about size. It's about systems. It's about whether your idea can expand to new markets, serve more customers, and multiply profits without costs growing at the same pace. If your business needs more of you every time it grows, it's not scalable. It's unsustainable. Let's take a page from the playbook of the world's most consistent brand, McDonald's. Whether you're biting into a burger in Mumbai, Manhattan, or Madrid, the fries taste the same. Why? Because Ray Kroc didn't build a restaurant, he built a system. Standard operating procedures, SOPs, ensure the same crisp fries, the same speed, and the same smile, no matter where you are. That's scalability, turning consistency into a replicable science. A scalable business runs without you, not because of you. Automation, documentation, and delegation, these are the holy trinity of growth. Now, scalability isn't just about replication, it's about expansion. Can your business branch into new locations, add new products, or serve new audiences without losing its soul or blowing up its budget? Think about Zoom. When the pandemic hit, it didn't just survive, it exploded. Why? Because it was structurally ready to handle millions of users overnight. It didn't need to hire thousands more people or open offices in every country. Its system scaled digitally. Technology, when used right, is a force multiplier. It allows you to do in minutes what used to take hours. It gives small ideas big wings. And here's the cherry on top. Truly scalable businesses often have what's called network effects. That means every new user doesn't just add value for themselves, they add value for everyone else. Look at WhatsApp. The more people joined, the more valuable it became to every other user. That's why it grew like wildfire, because each new person made the ecosystem stronger. That's exponential scalability, the kind every entrepreneur dreams of. Now let's bring it closer to home. Ask yourself, can my idea expand to new markets without heavy rework? Can I replicate my success without cloning myself? Do my customer acquisition costs, CAC, decrease as I grow? Can I introduce more products or services to increase customer lifetime value, CLV? If your answer is yes to most, congratulations. You're sitting on a scalable model. The magic of scalable ideas lies in leverage. Leverage of systems, leverage of people, leverage of technology. Because remember this, entrepreneurship isn't about working harder. It's about building something that works harder than you ever could. So design your business like an ecosystem, not a solo performance. Create processes that can be taught, replicated, and improved. That's how brands outlive their founders. Think of this 7-point checklist as your idea's fitness test. A way to see if your dream is just exciting in theory or if it's strong enough to survive the real world. Because in business, passion is fuel, but structure is the engine. Now, once you've run your idea through all these filters, there's one last question to ask. Can it make money? Because at the end of the day, purpose is noble, innovation is inspiring, but profit is what keeps the lights on.